Main one collector with one more video, and if you like it, click like and subscribe. Helps out the channel. Thanks a lot, guys. Alright, good people, so me and my merry band of mutants, we're back in the town of Philadelphia, here for the Philadelphia Fan Expo, Comic-Con. Now, once again, I gotta state, I sort of have a love-hate relationship with this show. I've been going since it was formerly the Wizard World show, and it was a pretty good show, and, since Fan Expo took over, it's been a little bit lacking. So last year, I wasted a ton of time online trying to get signatures and autographs, so I made it my business. This year, I was gonna do none of that. I wasn't gonna pursue any autographs. I was just gonna kick back, enjoy the show, and have a good time this year. So this year's show took place on the May the 4th weekend. So basically, it was a lot of Star Wars centric things going on. You had the 501st Legion out there. You had tons of Star Wars props and merchandising out. You can see these R2-D2 units. Those were pretty cool. There's just no way I could bring something like that home from the show. Now, here's what's interesting. So last year, again, I was waiting on all these lines, so I really didn't get much exploration of the show floor. And when I did, it was a ton of stores with new products. I was able to snatch some gargoyles, but it was a lot of new stuff, that I really couldn't take advantage and look at properly. Now, this year, it was a little bit different. The vendors, it was a lot of older merchandise. So you had a lot of loose figures, a lot of sealed up older figures, which is still pretty cool. It's just, I did not see a lot of new product that I would be after, pretty much Hasbro and, all the stores are doing pre-orders now. So it kind of makes me wonder, what new stuff are the vendors going to have for these shows. And the other issue that I took notice with, there were less vendors in terms of selling action figures and comics. It was a noticeable difference that it was less of those vendors there at the show. And the thing that really killed me with this one is, this is not on the vendors, this is on the venue. The show aisles were really tight. So now when you went into the celebrity area this year, that area is blown out wide open. They're anticipating long lines. People are going to be waiting there all day. But when it came to the show floor, the aisles are really packed tight. So it's like if I stop and, I want to look at a figure or I want to stop and look at some comic books in a booth, it's real quick. I got 5 to 7 people lined up behind me trying to skate around me or trying to push their way through, and it's crazy. That's no way to have a show. Now, the thing about it is, this is a easy fix. It's simple. Book the show in the bigger side of the building. Wizard World used to use the other side of the convention center, and it was a much larger space. And once Fan Expo took over, they've been having it in the smaller side of the building. So simple fix, Fan Expo, put it in the bigger side of the building. Now that the bad is out the way, let's talk about some of the good. I did appreciate the Fan Expo store. The merchandise was pretty cool. I'm not a pop guy, but I do appreciate some of the exclusives. Had some exclusive comic books, pretty cool thing. So I did like the Expo store. The other thing that I appreciated, I did enjoy my visit to Artist Alley very much. I saw a lot of different things. I got put on to certain art pieces, and Artist Alley, I think, was hands down the best part of the event. I did appreciate the vendors selling the comics this year. It was a lot of good deals to be had. Guys were willing to work with you to move some books. So I found one vendor. I did not purchase a lot this year. I did find some Dracula books. I'm trying to complete my Tomb of Dracula run and the Werewolf run. So basically I was just looking for horror-based Marvel books. I did see a ton of custom Lego figures. Now, these custom Lego figures are pretty cool, and they had everybody. Sonic, Indiana Jones, and the Ninja Turtles. My buddy Nick, he bought the Ninja Turtle pack, and it wasn't bad. It was 5 for $20. That was a pretty good deal. I admit this is one thing that I missed during the pandemic, was the ability just to go out to conventions, get together with a group of buddies, and just converse with local artists, see new product, and just cool things that are coming out. One thing I did regret, I did not take a ton of pictures of cosplayers. I was just running around, but I did see this guy in his Blue Beetle suit. That suit was amazing. It lit up and everything. I just got to make sure next year to try to get more pictures. I got to be more mindful of that. On a side note, I found a booth that was selling a ton of t-shirts and patches. These patches were pretty cool, and they were giving bundle deals on the patches. So I've been doing a side project for my son. We've been making him a jean jacket with all the 80s and Marvel characters. So this is a pretty good deal. I was able to purchase these patches and even picked up some for myself. So in conclusion, my thoughts of the show, it was pretty good this year. Aside from the overcrowding in the aisles, I could live with that. But the show was pretty good. And, plotting for next year, maybe next year I will try to stay a few days in Philly because it is a ton of stuff to do there. So next year, maybe me and the boys will try to cut out maybe on Thursday night, get there for Friday early Saturday, and then maybe try to hit Sunday and get a couple of deals before we head back to New York. Well, Fan Expo, it's been real. We'll see you next year. We are in the city of brotherly love, and we're going to hit up a few more spots before we skip town. As we left the convention center, we took a 10-minute walk and hit up one of my favorite spots I got to hit every time I'm in Philly, Mitchell and Ness. I got to take a look around, see what jerseys they got. I'm a New York head. It's a ton of Philly stuff in here. But what do I expect? I'm in Philly. I was actually looking for New York Knicks merchandise, but then I remembered all the jerseys probably sold out during that playoff run because Philly got taken over by the New York Knicks fans. Oh, what's this? I found a New York Knicks Hardwood Classics hat, so this would be going back home with me. Now, as we left the city of brotherly love, we decided to make a couple more pit stops, and we hit up a local Ollie's on some action figure hunting. So that's a pretty good look. And one more stop we decided to make was to Hidden Treasures. Now, this is a collectible shop out in Jersey, and it was a good look. So stay tuned to the channel and watch those other uploads on Ollie's and the Hidden Treasures. Well, that's my time, people. Thanks for watching. Main one out.